Well, I'm back, and I've been busy.
He has a strange artistic compulsion to... Artistic. That's it.
Well, it's been a while since I made a video. I've been busy driving cars, playing around, but I haven't been doing a lot of filming. I did have this project I've been working on, and I just finished it like 20 minutes ago. Well, 99% finished. There's a couple things I want to change later. This is my Batmobile, or Bat Blitzer, or Blitzer Bat. I would just call it my Batmobile. So as you know, a while back, I think some of you have seen it, I made a Joker mobile. So here is the Joker mobile that I did up. This is a MST CMX 4-wheel drive. Oh my god, that's stiff. 4-wheel drive chassis, and I took the Tamiya Sand Scorcher body and did it up. And you can see Joker's inside. There's a bunch of lights and stuff. I don't have any batteries in it right now. And I made this one up, and it was quite fun. It's quite a fun project, put a lot of work into it. And I decided to do that all over again and do the counterpart. So now we have two Beetles, one for the Joker and one for Batman. The Joker is a little bit better off-road, and the Batman's a lot faster. And let's take a look at my Blitzer Bat. So, as you can see here, I've turned the lights on. One thing I've not turned on is the internal fan, because it's not working quite right at the moment. I'll talk about that. So there's the front lights. There's Batman in there. He looks rather serious. Now let's flip it around. On the back you can see there is a rocket with some flames coming out. Yeah. I'll take a nice close look at everything. That one. There we go. Alright, so yeah, we can see the car nice and simply. Let me turn the lights off. So as far as the design went, I had this idea. I wanted to do a Batmobile, and I decided to do it with my Blitzer Beetle that I ordered twice, and it's hard to get. They're kind of sold out, so finally I got one. So what's going on here? Well, I have done some modification, as you maybe can see. Back here we have bat wings, and we have our rocket engine, because I figured the Batmobile needs a rocket engine. I'm just going to open it up, and we'll take a look inside this body. I'll just pull off the body. There we go. Alright, we'll have a look inside the shell. See, I got my blue lights on the side. this is my rocket engine, and you can see on it there's a big fan. It's not powerful enough for what I wanted. I thought it'd be good, or I'm either gonna have to change the fan or change the flames. These are supposed to blow around like flames, but it's just a little too stiff, and it's the second one I've made. The first one was made with this stuff to stick out like flames. It did look quite good, but these kind of look, I mean, it looked good until you turn the fan on and absolutely nothing happened. At least these flicker around a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to use some tinsel, Christmas tinsel, and see if I can make that flow. Red tinsel, red and silver tinsel. So inside the rocket, there's actually 4 LEDs that are orange. So it glows orange underneath. So it actually has a very nice effect at night in the dark. And if these would move a little bit, if these would flow a little bit, it looked like flames coming out of the rocket engine. So how did I make this? This is actually made from vitamin bottles. Vitamin bottles that I cut one and made the end for it, and used shoe glue for glue it together, and made this out of ABS, the back plate with the fan, and glued it all together. So you can see quite a bit of shoe glue covering things. So yeah, so that was the rocket engine. For the bat wings on the back, these are ABS that I cut, and inside the body, I think you can see, it's kind of hard to see because the windows are covering up, but here and here and here there's actually holes cut, and it's slotted through and glued. And then I molded plastic for the front because it wasn't cut quite well. There's a little gap, and to add strength, so this is molded plastic. And to make it all nice and smooth in here, this is actually Tamiya repair putty, and I use Tamiya cement. And I put down repair putty, smooth it all out, cover it in cement, put down more repair putty, and then smooth it all out, and then cover it in cement. So the cement is kind of infused into the putty, and it makes quite a solid connection. For the rocket engine mounting, I had to cut out the body here and up here, and then I made mounts out of moldable plastics for the bottom, and you can't see it, but for the top as well. I put Tamiya putty, did the same thing as I did on the side on the top to kind of try smooth it in. It's a little bit crooked, but try smooth it into the roof, and just glued it all together. And for the front, of course, I have LEDs going to the front lights as well. And you can see all the mess of wires in there. As far as the body goes, for the paint, this is Tamiya metallic black, and I've clear coated. So there's 2 cans of metallic black, and it's clear coated in 1 can of glossy clear coat. So it's quite shiny, and I thought that was the best way to get the beautiful lines to show up that are on this body without doing different color paintwork. So you can see everything actually quite clearly because it's so reflective, but you can get fingerprints on this car now, so that's the one downside. I did my own front license plate. I know the bat's a little bit crooked, but I did that with a stencil. The yellow I did first before I did black. This is Tamiya chrome yellow, and then I did black over it. So I made my own bat symbol and put it on the front. And for the back license plate, I was going to do stencil. It was so hard to cut it, I just took the brush and painted bat one on it. It looks alright. Yeah, so that's basically the modifications I've done to the body. And as I said, this took a lot of work to get this, to think it up, to mod it and start cutting this beautiful, beautiful shell, and then to put it all together and see the finished product. It actually looks pretty cool. How big to make the bat symbol? I was going to do black with yellow around, but I actually, even though if you're really into the comics, Batgirl does a symbol in yellowish orange, I thought that really stood out, and then I could match it with the wheels. So let's take a look at the chassis. So this is your standard Blitzer Beetle chassis. You can see I have Batman up here and he has no legs. Even though now that I have it all together, I cut his legs because the first way his legs are sticking out. You can see it through the wheel well. Even though now I have it all together and realized they would have bent down, I could have left his legs. But there's an amputated Batman driver. I have him in a rubber seat and he's actually screwed to it. I made a plate. And this is where the ESC, the mechanical ESC, would go. And I cut down the mounts. I made a plate. I screwed from the bottom of the plate, I screwed through the chair into Batman here and through the back of the chair as well into Batman. So he's really solid. So if I flip this car, like I can actually pick him up, right? Pick the whole car up. So if I actually flip this car, he won't go flying anywhere. He's quite heavy, so that's good. As far as the rest of the car goes, here we have my XR10 just stock ESC. So I am running brushless. I got a 10.5 turn just stock brushless motor, and I have the ESC on a plate that I've also glued on. Added a plate, put the ESC up here above the battery. Because there's so many connections for the lights, I am using my FlySky 10 channel receiver, which is an easy way to do things. If you want to do a lot of electronics, you get one of these big receivers for the FlySky, and then you can power everything easily. For a servo, I'm running a Futaba Metal Gear servo, SR10 or something. I forget the name on it, but they're quite good. One thing I have upgraded, obviously. I mean, I've done ball bearings, as you can see, but I put the TTO2 DFO3 Tamiya shocks on, front and back, so it actually should ride quite well. I painted the wheels with that Tamiya yellow, and they're also clear coated, so they're quite shiny. I'm really proud of this build. As I said at the beginning, there's a lot of work put into this car. Building the chassis, that was the easy part, but quite a bit of work put in. And I did do another mod I thought up. So on these cars, these arms are two thin bendy piece of plastic, and they're screwed together. The screws in the back screws them together, and they're actually quite flexible. So what I did is, when I was building them inside, I cut ABS to fit the gap inside, and I used shoe glue and I filled them. So these are on the front and back. These are solid now. These are very strong. So I did that to strengthen them up because it's kind of a weak point in the chassis. As far as the chassis goes, I quite like this car. A couple odd things, and maybe it's because this was originally a different build, but these screw in. I don't know what they're for. Little piece of plastic that you screw on. I thought that was rather odd. And there are a bunch of holes in back. So I think there was a whole different rear end originally went on this part of the chassis, because there's a bunch of holes you can see over here. It looks like a different back end actually bolts on, and that's why those holes were there. Anyway, kind of cool. One thing to note, if you're actually doing a brushless motor on this, is the spur gear is actually way over here on this side of the gearbox. And you can't, well, I couldn't. I could almost get my pinion on it. Don't use the pinion set tool if you use anything but the kit motor, because if you do that, your pinion will be over here. It won't even touch the spur. So the spur is on this side. So it's about an inch away from the motor. So the spindle on the motor, the shaft on the motor, isn't that long. So I had to push it as far out as I could get it. And it's about 3/4 on the spur. So it's a little bit off. So I hope I don't strip it out, but I do have some spare gears if I do. Alright, so there's our Ben Affleck Batman. And there's our Batmobile. So that's my Batmobile, and I think it makes a fine addition to the Joker Mobile. It's kind of cool to have both of them built up as Beetles. I'm going to do another Beetle project, and it's going to be on my CR01. I'm going to turn that into a monster beetle. So I'm going to turn my crawler that doesn't really crawl well. I'm going to make it, because I have the big monster truck tires on it, so I want to turn it into a monster beetle. And this body actually fits quite well. I think the Blitzer Beetle one fits better than the shorter one, but we'll find out. This is the one I can buy. Can't get the one with this front end. Now today it's raining. I want to go outside and drive it, but I hate driving my car, especially brand new ones I don't want to ruin. I hate driving my cars in the rain. I don't know if when I take these out, should I take another vehicle? I think maybe I'll take the Holiday Roadster. When I take this out, we can drive this one as well, because even though this is a DTO2, these chassis are quite similar, and I'm running the exact same power system in both. Now this one actually is terrible. I had it out the other day on like muddy dirt, and all it would do was spin the tires and spin in circles. But anyway, maybe we'll take them on the grass, or we'll take them on the pavement, and maybe we'll take these two together, or maybe we'll just drive the Batmobile. And we'll leave the Cowmobile home. But these two are quite similar. This one also can take a Blitzer Beetle body, or a Sand Scorcher body, or a Monster Beetle body. You can also mount that on this. And some people have done that. Rather than build the Blitzer Beetle, they just build on this chassis. It's actually probably a little bit more solid, especially up front, but it's a very similar chassis. And I think they should drive quite similarly, actually. This one has the spiky tires, so that's a bit better. But I love this Batmobile. And a lot of you have seen my projects. This cow car, doing the painting on that. Make it look cool. My Joker Mobile, now my Batmobile. These things take a lot of time. I hope everybody's enjoying them. Thinking it up, having this vision, putting things together, and then getting it to work. So this is probably my most ambitious one. As I said at the beginning, and I wasn't joking, I don't know how much time I put into this. I know there have been the last few days, I literally, about 10 a.m. I start, and by about 6 p.m. I'm finishing up for the day. So I put quite a bit of work into making this a reality. And this one actually was a hell of a lot of work on the painting and figuring out the cow design. So it's actually quite a bit. And this one's actually quite modified. So all of these take some time, and I hope everybody likes these creations. And I'll see you with some new ones in the future. Now, we'll take this out and we'll show some driving footage. I'm not going to drive it hard because I don't want to ruin the paint and I don't want to hurt this car. So it's built really well. It's probably going to go quite fast, but I don't think I'll drive it too hard because I don't want to, all that work that went into it, I don't really want to destroy it just yet. But we'll take it out. We'll give you some driving footage of the Batmobile in action. So check it out. All right. So I had this car out last night. We did some running at night, and some issues. I guess my connection here wasn't as solid as I thought, and so it kind of cracked off. And I just put some shoe glue over it. Doesn't look too bad. Maybe I should have done that in the beginning. Other than that, this thing is wild. It's super fast. Does lots of wheelies. I need a wheelie wheel. I'm gonna look into figuring one of those out. And when I get the tinsel, then I'll turn on the fan and my rocket will look more rockety. All right, let's power everything on. Damage. What kind of crazy driving. Oh shit. I'm actually really impressed by this car. I didn't think it'd be as good as it is. It's really wide, and it actually drives quite a bit with the brushless motor. It drives quite a bit like a modern car. See how that's split off from flipping? Yeah, looks like we need more shoe glue. All right. And more shoe glue. I wonder if I can do a backflip. What do you think? Think we can do a backflip? Let's try. Kind of.